We had a baby!
Yay! We did it!
We did it! You did it!
Woot, woot.
I helped!
You did!
It's true. We officially have a baby. It's real. It's here. It's a thing. It's a person.
He is a person.
He is a person. The idea is real. The person is Finn. Baby Finn.
His name is Finn.
Yes. Not Everest, as some people, conspiracy theorists thought last week.
Although I'm not going to say that's not a good name.
Beautiful name.
I'll keep it.
If your name
in the
is
running.
Everest, sound off in the chat. We love you, Everest. Yes, baby Finn, little Finley.
Yes, Finley.
We're going to tell you all about the birth story, how it went down, how it happened. Took us a little by surprise.
It all happened real fast.
Didn't expect to
real fast.
be talking to you guys here this episode, but here we are.
We had him basically at the same time that we had Wes.
Yes. The Fulmers like to come early. They like to surprise us all.
I guess so. I was really hoping he'd stay in there a little bit longer, but well, do you want to set the stage?
Sure. Let's set the stage. In a world where babies are people.
We were sleeping.
I think I've already forgotten it.
Okay, I remember.
But what were we doing right before? I remember. Okay, so you had a doctor's appointment.
Yes.
Pretty soon, right?
So he was born on a Wednesday, and I had a doctor's appointment on Tuesday.
Right, and we were saying like, you at the doctor any day now.
Yes,
and we were taking bets on how dilated you were.
Yep, because my parents had already moved in with us. Because we all knew that it was going to happen early.
We were getting prepared.
We were getting prepared, and so
came back with a what'd she call it? A healthy 3 centimeters.
Healthy 3 centimeters.
Does that mean like a heaping teaspoonful? Like it's actually a tablespoon?
Yes, that it's like could be anywhere between 3 and 8 centimeters.
Yeah.
No, it's probably like 4 centimeters.
That definitely shifted my perspective. Where okay, tomorrow actually means it could be tomorrow.
Yeah, but the big thing was that it was like almost 4 centimeters, but 50% effaced, which means that it had started stretching out like a rubber band, basically. We're talking about my cervix, everyone. For those of you who haven't had kids, 10 centimeters dilated is maximum.
That's go time.
That's when the baby's about to come out. I don't know why 10 centimeters is maximum. I'm sure there are women out there for whom 12 centimeters is maximum, or it's not like she's down there with her measuring tape, being like 3.5. No, it's just like a whoop. Yeah. And 4 centimeters would be very difficult to do because you'd have to go in pretty far. So
that's 4
they
fingers?
probably just stop at 3.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's fingers. They do fingers. And
anatomy.
Hey. So I came home from the doctor and I was like, all right, what are the bets? What did you bet?
I bet that it was still 2 because I thought it would be the opposite of what we thought it was. You're like, the baby's going to come early. I was like, but that's what we think it's going to happen. Yeah. So it's going to surprise us by coming at like 41 weeks.
Oh, man.
I think my official guess was 38 weeks.
Yeah, I think that was your official guess. And my mom guessed 3. And I guess 4 because
centimeters, not
because yes, no centimeters. And because I know my body, and I was like, no, I'm pretty sure because I could feel him like pushing down, and I was like, no, he's getting ready.
So we go to bed like normal. Thinking like
maybe a little early.
Yeah, a little on the early side.
I was tired.
Right, but then we sleep through the night. I mean, the first time around, you were up at midnight with contractions. This time around, we made it all the way till 4:30 a.m.
I know.
Which isn't, completely through the night,
exactly
but like
through the night, but it's pretty
girl,
close.
we got a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
You were well rested for that labor and delivery.
I was well rested.
Your squeezing muscles are like,
let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do this. But more importantly, you were well rested. And
Right, because you're going to be exhausted no matter what.
right, exactly.
I'm living the dream over here.
Exactly. I mean, you got a lot of paperwork to fill out.
That's true.
Just, there's just things that Daddy needs to do. Yeah. And so 4:30 a.m. I roll over and I'm like, pretty sure I'm having contractions.
Yeah. And then I go, oh, okay. Oh.
And then we go back to bed and wait for Wes to wake us up.
Similar to the first time, I was a little bit in denial, or I was like, well, maybe it's just, like how you have like contractions here and there. Just like kind of like hunger pains or something.
Right. Yeah, because that's exactly what it feels like.
No, I know, not hunger pains, but like maybe it was phantom contractions.
Right, yeah.
But most of that time from 4:30 to like 6 when the sun was up was me just laying in bed like, oh my God, it's happening.
Oh my God. I could have sworn you were back to sleep.
Well, my eyes were closed, but I was like mentally just doing gymnastics of like reframing my entire perspective of like, it's happening
moving
tomorrow.
Work projects around in your head. Like I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm not going to be able to do that.
Nope. Check that one off the list.
Yeah. I will give you, there are a lot of aches and pains in late pregnancy. And yeah, there was definitely a 30-minute period of time where I was like, could this not be contractions? But then I definitely knew that it was. And so then, I went back to sleep.
Yeah, you had some contractions in your sleep.
I had contractions in my sleep.
Wow.
And then Wes woke us up at
Get you a girl that can do both.
Wes woke us up at like 6:30. One of the rare days that he slept in.
Which feels like, wow, now to think like we could sleep in all the way to 6:30. Wow, we didn't know how good we had it.
Oh, man.
He sleeps till 6:30? Oh, my goodness.
Well, he doesn't anymore.
I would sell my avocado toast to sleep till 6:30.
I don't think anybody would buy your avocado toast right now.
Yeah.
Saying.
That's true. Don't want to get the Rona on avocados.
No.
Anyways, we were very worried about coronavirus in the hospital. It was a whole thing.
Okay, so then Wes wakes us up and we get up and start kind of going about our day, making coffee, all that kind of stuff.
Usual routine.
And I'm having contractions, and the contractions get way worse once I like get out of bed. So as I'm like playing with Wes and like reading with Wes or doing all these different things, I was like, I turned to you and I think I said, we're going to need to go to the hospital soon. Yeah. And Ned goes, okay, I'm going to go take a shower.
No, it went, no.
That's exactly
Don't put this on me. No.
You did say that.
No, you said you should go get ready.
I didn't think you were going to take a 20-minute shower.
I did not take a 20-minute shower. Don't make this a shower thing.
You did.
I did
you
not.
Totally did.
I did take a shower. It was not 20 minutes. You also... I don't know if you took a shower or not, but you took your time getting ready.
No, I didn't. I literally was hanging out with Wes, having contractions and timing them. And then when you got out of the shower, I said, put this bag in the car.
No,
I went and I put on
we
pants,
switched. We each
I got in the car.
We each took our turns getting ready. That was what I thought was so fun about it, because it was like this was a daytime labor and contraction. This wasn't like middle of the night. We're like, we like... Each like had a moment. You like put on makeup.
I think I put on mascara. Yeah.
You okay? Don't you making me out to be something like I'm just taking my sweet time.
Well, it felt like you were taking your sweet time because I was literally in labor.
Sure. Literally in labor.
I was literally having contractions in labor. Actually, you know what? I could go back and look at my contraction timer, and I could tell you exactly how long you took in the shower.
Okay, great.
Because I'm pretty sure it was more than 4.
4 contractions?
Yeah, I remember they're 5 minutes apart.
I know. I remember that. I had to like get myself correct for the baby. I had to like.
I remember you coming out and being like, "That's gonna be the last shower I'm gonna have for a while,"
Exactly.
So I made it a good one.
That's right.
And I was like, "Great, honey."
You also took your time getting ready. There was no urgency in this morning. You were having contractions,
I felt a lot of urgency after your 20-minute shower.
It was a very casual morning, which is what was so funny about it.
It was a very casual morning. Sure.
It was like, oh, I guess we'll just get on to the hospital.
No, I definitely started to feel the urgency as I was with Wes, and the contractions were getting worse and worse. And by the time that I was like, we need to go, I was like,
yeah,
I'm going to be having this baby in the car.
It was happening.
Yeah.
It was happening. And you had packed a hospital bag, a week ago. Of course, I'm just like throwing my jammies in a bag, slapping it together. No. Because I didn't think it was going to happen. It turns out I actually didn't need a bag at all.
Right.
But that's foreshadowing.
Yeah. Okay, so we had the baby across town.
Yes. Right. So we drove, and it was, so it's not the middle of the night anymore. Nope. We're in rush hour traffic.
We left the house at 7:30 a.m.
Got to the hospital at like 8:10.
Yep.
Oof. That's rough even when you're not going into labor.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the car ride to the hospital was the worst part.
And there was no way to get around the cars.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like we were on city streets, jam-packed with cars. You're just like going 10, 15 miles an hour. Couldn't even, maybe if I do something dangerous.
Oh, but you wouldn't want to do that.
Weaving through cars or driving on the sidewalk. But no, I didn't want to do that, obviously. So a long car ride. We finally get to the hospital. And of course, it's COVID, so there's like a someone checking your temperature.
Right,
and she goes, she's like, wait, is she in labor? And I was like, yes, my wife's in labor. And she's like, okay, just go. Come back and check in after you get settled.
I'm like waddling in. I seriously felt like I was just going to drop a baby on the ground.
Yeah.
But my water hadn't broken yet.
They just clock our temperature. Like, we don't have to sign in or anything.
Yeah.
It could have been anyone.
We go up to the thing, and they're like, oh, you're in labor? Okay, we'll just take you over to triage.
Yeah.
There was a very a lovely, sassy nurse.
Yeah, because there was 4 ladies all having babies at the same time
all of the triage
in triage.
rooms were full. And the lady was like...
And we were not high on the priority list.
No, because my water hadn't broken. I was 36 weeks, so like they were like, you're not in labor. And I was doing fine. I was like,
yeah. So she finds that out. Everything's cool. Everything's casual. She's like, okay.
But she was pretty funny. She like right when we walked up, she was like, everybody's going into labor this morning. And I was like, yep.
You're like, girl, same.
I hear you.
I hear you.
Yeah. And so we're just sitting there in triage for a little while.
And then we're chilling. We think it's calm and casual. You're doing your contractions. They don't seem too bad.
Right. To the person outside. But then they asked me if I wanted an epidural. Do you remember that?
Oh, that's true. And you were like, I kind of think I do.
Actually, yes. I think I do. I think I do. Because the pain was so bad at that point. Like, yeah, I was dealing with it fine. But I was like, if this is early labor, I am not going to make it.
Because we thought there was another 12 hours to go.
I thought there was another 12 hours to go. And I was like,
that's also foreshadowing.
If this gets way worse, I'm going to need an epidural. Because I thought that we still had like 8 to 12 hours left to go.
So they're preparing the epidural. You go into the bathroom to have a pee-pee. While you're in the bathroom, I execute a fancy football trade. My friends are very proud of that fact. I am embarrassed, but deep down, a
little proud of
myself.
Yeah. My mucus plug comes out when I did that.
Right.
And then I come back in and I lay back down and the midwife comes in.
Yes.
And so at this point, nobody has checked to see how dilated I am or anything like that. They weren't like literally preparing the epidural with, they were like typing it in and all that kind of
doing
stuff.
the computer preparations.
But so the midwife comes in.
We need an epidural, stat.
So the midwife comes in, cute woman. And she's like, hey guys, she sort of gives us her spiel of like, we've always got midwives in here just in case, because the doctors kind of fly in and fly out.
Crowd work, kind of, tight five.
She like talks to everybody. She was very soothing.
Room.
I was happy to see her. And she's like, okay, we're just going to check to see how dilated you are. And so she goes in and she's like, oh, okay, you're fully dilated. And she's like, oh, okay. But your bag of water is still there. I'm not going to do anything to break it. And there it goes. So literally just touching it with her finger.
Just like a simple inspection.
And my bag of water pops like a balloon.
Everywhere.
Ned literally heard it pop.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it went.
Yeah.
It's just like.
And then the water just goes.
It was so funny. She's like, oh, and you're 10 centimeters. Okay, well, I'm just going to be very careful to, and there it goes.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
I didn't see her face when that happened, but Ned saw her face.
And there it just broke.
And and Ned said that she looked really disappointed with herself. That she was just like, and there it goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Things are going to move a lot faster now.
Yep. And everything just like jumped into action.
Yeah, they like clicked the bed up and they started moving the bed out.
Number one. They're like, throw this epidural out the window because you are having this baby soon.
Yeah,
it's too soon now.
She like called in 4 other nurses and they grabbed the bed and started taking me. They're like, is there a room ready? Did somebody call her doctor?
Yep.
Like, let's do this.
It was like a scramble down to the actual delivery suite.
Yeah.
And then it was like, it was all happening so fast. I mean, it's like it was happening. The first time around, it was this 14-hour long thing. It started in the middle of the night.
I don't even remember taking off my shoes. Like, did I still have my shoes on?
I don't even remember if you were wearing shoes.
But yeah, so like...
Yeah, you took your shoes off. I think I had to move them around the room at one point. Yeah.
Ned's like carrying my purse.
I'm carrying your bag and your shoes. Like, you're doing great, sweetie.
You're doing great. We're like walking down the hall, and they're I can hear them talking in the background about my doctor. They're like, okay, who's on call?
Yeah.
And so they're like, saying my doctor's name, and they're like, okay, is she coming? Did you call her?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yes, we couldn't get a hold of her, but we're calling again. And I was like, oh my God, my doctor's not even going to be
like
here.
3 different sets of people like exchanged the same information, just like just handing it off. And it was all like, by the end of it, I was like, yeah, she's 10 centimeters dilated. She's negative on the thingy test, and doctor's on her way. But then it was the backup doctor, or not the backup doctor.
The backup. Well, I have. Okay,
you see one person, but it's a group of 5
in my
people.
practice,
so it was person on call was not your person.
And I specifically went to this practice because I followed my doctor from USC.
Mm-hmm. Go Trojans.
Yeah. And so it turned out that when the hospital called the doctor's office.
We'll call her the backup doctor.
When the hospital called the doctor's office, they were all sitting in a staff meeting. And so one of the, staff nurses comes in and is like, we have a patient going into labor. If the doctor could go over to the hospital now. And, one of the doctors is like, who is it? And they were like, oh, it's Ariel Fulmer. And so my doctor, Sarah, just is like, I got this.
Yeah. She was like, cancel my meetings. I'm taking this one.
Yeah. She's like, I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
And so Sarah comes like running in and she's like, didn't expect to see you here. I was like, nope, I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it was freaking go time.
Yeah.
It was like,
honestly,
it was time to start pushing.
After my water broke, the contractions were not worse.
Which is different.
It was very different. It was very, very different. After my water broke, I didn't have a contraction. It felt like I didn't have a contraction for like 15 minutes, which was very weird. I was like, is something wrong? Is this not happening now? Mm-hmm. But Sarah, she looked down there and she's like, oh no, baby's there. Like, let's go. Legs up. Like I'm pretty sure that I was just I was having just a conversation with her.
Yep.
And she starts pushing my legs up like this. And she's like, Ned, if you want to come over here. And I was like, okay, I guess we're doing this now.
Because the first time around we had hours of like waiting for the water break, waiting for the doctor to come. And then it all finally happened and it's like we knew it was time. It all took us by surprise, and then all of a sudden it's happening.
Yeah. And she was like, okay, I need you to push now. And I was like, whoa. Like,
it's like you didn't get to mentally prepare
I did not get to mentally prepare myself. And the first time I pushed, I phoned it in. I'm pretty sure that I had forgotten how to do it. I was like,
You phoned it in.
I was like,
Don't let our child listen to this
like
later.
I'm pushing, right?
Finn, your birth, I kind of phoned it in for the first one.
I wasn't mentally prepared to be
Got the backup doctor.
in labor right now.
No,
I was not mentally prepared to be in labor. And so like pushing, I was like, what? I'm pushing now.
Yeah, you kind of,
like,
your muscles had to remember how to do it.
Yeah, like you're just sitting on the toilet or something. You're just like.
Yeah. Well, it all happened very fast. I mean, even though you were just phoning it in on that first one, by the end of the first one, the baby's head was crowning.
I know.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It was that fast.
It was that fast.
I know. Well, it was a,
and I'm pretty sure,
tiny little guy.
I'm pretty sure that my doctor.
42-week-old chunker.
I know.
After the second push,
the head was out.
The head was out.
I know. It was pretty nuts. And my doctor even called me out on the first push. She was like, you can do better than that. She's like, I know that you can do better than that.
So 2 pushes on the first contraction, 2 pushes on the second contraction, head comes out, and then
Sarah's she didn't even wait for the
give
third.
Give me one more.
She didn't even wait for the third contraction. She was like, just keep going.
Yeah.
Just keep going. And I was like, what? Because I was like gathering myself. I was like,
yeah, she thought you were going to have another
she was like, no,
5-minute break.
No, no break. Just do it.
The head was out, the cord's like,
Apparently he had a super long cord.
Super long cord. It wasn't around his neck or anything, but it was like kind
over
of
his
near
shoulder.
his neck. So you got it. You got to get it
yeah,
going.
So she was just like, go.
And so on the end of the second contraction,
we had a baby. And it was,
she had the baby. In total, we were in the delivery suite for 16 minutes. In total, after we arrived at the hospital, it was less than an hour and a half. It was...
Isn't that crazy?
So fast.
It was so fast.
Retrospect, did not have time to take a shower. Did not have time to put on makeup. But you know what? We looked good for that baby. We looked correct.
Honestly, I didn't tear or anything like that. It was kind of unreal. It was like, doctors sort of looking around down there, and she's like, okay, like you've got a little bit of abrasion, but apart from that, like you're good. I almost
no
kind
stitches.
of like, I think back on it now, and Sarah was kind of like, get out there, champ.
Yeah. It was
like,
a real smack on the butt situation. Just like, get out there, champ.
Great job.
Mm-hmm.
And they, I do remember the entire like birthing suite.
Mm-hmm.
All the nurses were very, very sweet. They were like, this is what an unmedicated birth should look like. And I was like, really? I feel like this is all happening so fast. I feel like this should not look like that. This is not what things should look like.
Yeah, the entire thing was unmedicated.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't time for an epidural.
There was no time for anything. And they didn't have nitrous like they had at Good Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it was just, I did consider the epidural.
Yeah, you more than considered it.
I definitely.
You're like, I want the epidural. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Ned
not the
knew
time
that I didn't actually want the epidural.
to remind you of the fact that previously you were like, oh, I would like to not do it.
Yeah.
I don't like needles.
Yeah, no. At the time that I was fully dilated, 10 minutes from having a baby, and having those contractions, thinking that I've still got 8 hours left of this, I was like, oh no, we're gonna need the epidural.
So then the baby laid on your chest for a little bit.
Yes.
I mean, they did some tests and all the normal stuff. We didn't do nursing there, I don't think.
No, it all happened. I don't even think that there was a lactation person there.
Yeah, so we laid on your chest for a little bit, but because he was little, they had to check him out.
Yeah.
And because the labor happened so fast,
right.
And because he was little, he was having some difficulty breathing, and there's some fluid in his lungs, which happens from time to time.
Yeah,
so.
apparently when the labor is that fast, there's like most babies have fluid in their lungs when
Yeah,
they're
and it gets squeezed out over the course of 14 hours or so.
however many
long
hours
your
of labor.
is.
But he had it in his lungs, and so they had to take him to the NICU.
Yeah, that was a bummer. Luckily, we had been through it once before with Wes, which was a lot more shocking, honestly. This was kind of like at, 36 weeks, we were kind of expecting it.
I'll be honest, I was kind of expecting, once I like kind of came to terms with the fact that I was in labor, I was like, okay, so he's going to go to the NICU, he's going to be small. Like I just knew.
Yeah. And, but everything was fine. He the getting the fluids out of the lungs, it happens naturally, usually just overnight. So he was, we were out of there I think not the next morning, but the morning after.
Yeah. I mean, it was a long time. It felt like a lot longer.
It wasn't like some, jaunty overnight to Santa Barbara. It was sad. And
it's hard.
A lot, it's tough being in the NICU. It's even having done it once already, it did not get any easier this time.
Yeah, we had a fantastic nurse in the NICU who was so wonderful, and she was there for the whole time, which was awesome. Mm-hmm. Her shift just happened to overlap like that, and it was so great. So every morning we would be like, "Hey, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on today?"
Yeah.
That was really good.
A silver lining of the NICU experience was with nurses taking care of Finn. Oh my God, it's gonna happen. Oh no, I'm a dad now. Oh no. With nurses taking care of Finn, it allowed you to get some rest, and it allowed me to actually go home and
be with Wes.
Reassure him that everything was okay. Did like our normal routine, like he wasn't too distraught that mom and dad were. Yeah, he probably didn't even notice.
I don't even think
anything
that
was happening.
I don't even think that it occurred to him that we had been in the hospital that day.
Yeah,
it was like we left for work, and then Daddy came home from work.
Yeah.
It
was about the time of a work day.
I mean, he was a little.
You had the baby at 9:30.
Yeah.
Have a sip of coffee.
He was a little weird that I wasn't there.
Yeah.
He was kind of like, "Where's mommy?"
I think it was a lot better than it would have been if it was like.
Mm-hmm. And that was one of the things
for 3 days.
That was one of the things about coronavirus was no visitors. We couldn't have any visitors in the hospital.
Yeah, we wanted to bring Wes and have him meet Finn at the hospital, but he wasn't allowed.
He wasn't allowed. Only Ned was allowed to come and go.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't even allowed to have my parents or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that was tough. But
I mean, we had to wear masks at all times in the hospital.
Yeah.
Basically, unless it was us alone in the hospital room, we had to wear masks.
Yeah.
So you gave birth with a mask on.
Gave birth with a mask on. Being in the NICU, when you're in your postpartum suite with your baby, you can take off your mask and you can you're breastfeeding and talking to him and that sort of thing. But in the NICU, we had to wear our masks.
Yeah.
And so the first 24 hours, 48 hours with Finn, we had masks on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That felt weird.
Toughest part about the NICU is even if, there's, the baby's not in pain or whatever. There's a lot of different experiences that you can have in the NICU. And even in a milder case like ours, he's still hooked up to a bunch of monitoring. And in this case, we couldn't have as much cuddle time. You are allowed to hold him, which is nice. But yeah, it was tougher.
He was.
I'm happy he's back home.
Yeah, me too. He was pretty small, and they didn't want him to eat because of the fluid in his lungs, and so they had to hook him up to an IV for the first 24 hours.
Yeah,
so that was hard. It's always really hard to see a teeny tiny baby with a little IV.
I know, and their veins are so tiny; it's hard to find. So it takes a couple tries. And
I know. Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah. Finn still has a little bruise.
I know.
But then after 24 hours, we were able to start bottle feeding him, which was really good.
Breastfeeding him.
Yeah, we're still working on the breastfeeding. there's some trouble because he's small.
Yeah, you want to make sure that he's getting a certain amount rather than just sucking on a titty and not actually getting the milk.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Miles, we can cut that out, right? No, we left it in there. Dang it.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically,
this is my worst episode yet.
With breastfeeding, you don't know how much they're getting unless you do like a weigh in before and after. And so because he's small, we wanted to make sure that he was getting enough. Like 30 milliliters. He's drinking way more now. He's like up to a couple ounces, but when he was really, really little, we wanted to make sure that he was drinking from a bottle, and it's actually easier to drink from a bottle. Right. Because, they don't have to work as hard. And because he was so small, they didn't want him working too hard. So we were drinking from the bottle.
But he's growing, about an ounce a day. Everything's healthy.
Yeah.
No jaundice.
He'll get there.
Minimal jaundice.
Yeah. He will get there.
I got you a push present.
Ned did get me a push present. I love the name of that. I just find that so funny.
I mean, it's a good name because like you deserve a present after that quality of pushing.
Well, so
10 minutes.
Ned was home every night. And so he would come to the hospital every morning. Mm-hmm. That was actually one of the hardest things, was being in the hospital alone at night, like with nothing to do. My TV didn't work, but I really didn't want to bother the nurses because like I was already the problem child. Because like I didn't have a baby in my room, and so like they didn't come in to play with my baby and that sort of thing. And I kept going up to the NICU, and I could walk. I was fine after labor, and they really wanted me to stay in bed, and I was like, no, I want to go see my baby in the NICU. So I went against all of them, and
went rogue.
I just walked up to the NICU, and they were looking for me at one point.
Upset.
They were like, where is this patient? And apparently so I got into a little bit of trouble because they were like, you really need somebody to take you.
You almost got put in hospital jail.
I almost got put in hospital jail. I know. Well, they like insisted on taking me in a wheelchair. And I was like, no, I'm not going in the darn wheelchair because it's so slow and it takes forever. And I have to wait for somebody then I have to call them to take me back down in a wheelchair. And it's like 2 a.m. because I have to because I was trying to feed him every 3 hours. And at that point, like you have to pump every 3 hours to get the milk to feed him. And I wanted to sleep. And so I was like, I'm not waiting for someone to call. So I just walked down. And I didn't have my shoes because I put them in Ned's bag because my bag was full. And so I didn't have my shoes, so I was just walking in my socks.
We made
all over the hospital.
We made a mistake there.
Because Ned didn't even need his bag.
No.
Yeah. So my TV didn't work.
Yeah, that was a tough decision to make, to say, oh, should Ned stay with you or should Ned stay with Wes?
I know. Well, I think what made the decision was there was no bed in there for you.
I could have slept in the recliner.
Yeah, there was like a reclining chair that I think turned into a bed.
Yeah. But we chose to go with Wes.
Yeah.
And I think that was helpful. It was fun to bring, coffee and pastries to you every morning.
So Ned would come with coffee and pastries every morning. And and one morning he went out for coffee and came back with diamond earrings. And I was like, wow, thanks, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Yeah.
Like I got you present.
I got you present.
What else?
Well, now that we've taken him home, things have been pretty interesting. Wes is very sweet with Finn, and he is like very tender. He says like, Wes love Finn, which means like, can I give Finn a hug and some kisses?
Yeah. Yeah, I have some really cute videos of Wes with Finn. Mm-hmm. He's just like, I hope it stays like this, that he's just sort of enamored with him.
I hope so. Yeah, it's like Finn is like his special like
toy.
Yeah, almost like a toy.
Like a little treasure.
He's like, can I go say hi to Finn? And
yeah, and
we have his own little hand sanitizer bottle that he squirts to like make sure he washes his hand before he touches Finn.
Yeah.
So he's like, sometimes he'll just go do it on his own, like wash his hand and then bring up a little stool to like look at him.
Yeah, he pushes his little stool up to where
It's so
Finn is,
cute.
and then he like looks in his little basket.
Yeah.
And is like, I touch Finn?
Mm-hmm.
I kiss Finn?
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, yeah,
Like making sure it's okay.
You can kiss him, yeah. And like after he kisses him, then he's like, I hold his hand?
Yeah.
Like,
I know,
yeah,
it's
you can
really
hold his
sweet.
hand? Sure. Yeah, he's very, very sweet with him and very like gentle.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping it stays like that.
I think it will.
I hope so.
Because like the rest of the adjustment for Wes, you can tell he's kind of acting out or requiring more attention.
We
or
have
kind
been
of
working
being like clingy towards us, like outside of Finn. So I think that everything like there's just good vibes directed towards Finn.
Yeah. And
He's certainly still processing.
We've really been working hard on that. That was something that we were very worried about because Wes he's a little tornado.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of feelings right now. And so we kind of knew that we were going to need to spend a little bit of extra time with Wes, which we have been. Finn just sleeps all the time.
Actually, when you went into labor, one of the thoughts I had was, oh man, I was going to have all this special
cool Wes time
because I was going to go on paternity leave like at 36 weeks, whether the baby was there or not.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I'll just have like Wes time while we wait for baby Finn. But then it turned out that I still had that because Wes needed that Wes time more than ever. So we've been having some Daddy Wes adventures, went to the beach, and go to the zoo every week, and just a lot of like just fun, nice bonding time.
Totally. And I think he needs that and is like really using that.
Yeah. Not getting a lot of sleep, but it's a little better than...
Not getting a lot of sleep, but also not getting no sleep.
Yeah, not getting no sleep.
We figured it out this time.
Yeah, we have our routines from last time. That's the biggest thing. It's like, we kind of know what we're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say we're like awesome parents, but like, we at least know how to change the diaper.
Well,
Didn't know how to do that the first time.
I think I had forgotten how to change a little newborn diaper.
Yeah, the first time I was like, oh no, your butt is the size of my palm.
Yeah, exactly. He's so small.
Tiny.
And those little diapers are so teeny tiny.
Yeah, they're so tiny.
And like
everything's so tiny. Oh, I miss him. Can we cut to commercial?
Just go snuggle.
Yeah.
Well, so one thing that we totally forgot was to push his little penis down.
Like, you have to elaborate.
You know what I'm talking
You
about.
have to elaborate for the people.
Okay. So basically, when you put a diaper on a boy, a little boy baby, you have to maneuver his little penis downward so that when he pees, it goes into the diaper and not up out of the diaper.
If you kind of put the diaper, tamp it down, and his little wee-wee is pointed upwards,
he will pee on himself.
Yes, pee like out of the diaper.
And we had a few times, more than a few times.
Totally forgot that.
Where I totally forgot that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were like 6 days in, and I was like, why is he always wet? Why is this happening? And he's like,
wearing a diaper. Why is his entire blanket wet?
It's like very, it's like not warm outside. It is LA, so it's like 60, but he's just a little guy. So we've got him in the like full onesies that Rachel gave us. Like with the footies and everything. Those aren't the easiest things to get on and off, and so. We like, I found myself putting him in like 5 of those a day because he was peeing himself, and I had completely forgotten how to put on a diaper. And there was like a point where, didn't you have? They showed us in the NICU. She was like, okay, I always put one diaper underneath the other diaper before I take the other diaper out. Totally forgot that. Mm-hmm. Pretty sure you forgot that too because. You had an experience where he explosive pooped all over you.
Oh, yeah.
And all over the wall.
Yep. Peed right in my face and pooped on the wall. And I'm talking, it was like a fire hose. I mean, it was just rocketing out of there. And then it was just like slowly like dripped down the wall. It was just like...
And we haven't
kind
showed
of
our
breast
nursery
milk
yet.
poo-poo.
But it's like this rainbow mural.
yeah. We had-
so there's poop going down the
We had
mural.
all these plans to do like a nursery reveal video and some cool try DIY stuff. And then
This always happens to us. We always have plans, and then the plans get dashed.
And then we had a baby, and now the baby is our plans and the hashtag content. I mean, I'm just glad we're here recording a podcast.
That's right. Wes is sleeping. Finn is sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be
Special
back.
to tell this story.
It is.
Well, we do have one special surprise, which is I recorded some audio of me caring for Finn at 4 a.m. Let's listen.
Okay.
Hello. It's 4 a.m. I'm sitting here looking at Finn. His eyes are open. He's wide awake. He looks so cute. Dude, I just want to go back to bed. So that's a little preview of a new segment called 4 a.m. Thoughts. We'll have a full segment next week.
Yeah. Ned's going to record himself at 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a system now that seems to be working okay.
Yeah.
Where I go to bed with Finn at like 9.
Mm-hmm.
And I do the first 2 feedings of the night at, midnight and 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then we trade off at 4. I wander into the bedroom and I say, Ned.
Okay.
No.
No, you're
It's
actually
not
very
actually
sweet.
that.
Not
I
like
usually,
that.
I usually grow up in the dark and I'm like, honey.
You're like, hey, Ned. I just fed him. He's got a clean diaper.
Yeah. And then
Or
Ned just zombie
he's
walks
going
into.
crazy, but I need a break.
Yeah, exactly. And then I climb into bed and Ned goes into the nursery.
Yeah.
It works. And then I wake up with Wes, and Wes has been waking up at 5:30 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
Which
that makes this plan work a little less well.
it makes it work a little less well, because then I'm up with Finn all night, and I wake up early with Wes.
Yeah.
It's gotten a little bit harder. I've been taking naps, but I think we might need to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Figure that out.
We'll figure it out. The point is, we didn't have any sort of system when we had Wes. So we were just both zombies trying to figure out systems on the fly. But now here it is.
I feel like I couldn't do anything without you. I did not have the confidence to like, I don't know, to do I was sort of like, hey, Ned, should I change his diaper right now? Or,
That's right. We did a lot of things together,
We did a
which
lot of
both
things
just
together.
ends up with both people being tired.
yeah.
And we also were like really worried about him. Like, I remember like we wouldn't feel comfortable like leaving the room.
Right.
Like someone always had to be like there watching the baby.
Yeah.
And-
I mean, I still
and-
feel that way about Finn, but
Yeah, but like not like
right.
let's say this time around, I'm comfortable like having him outside the bathroom when I go make a poop.
Sure.
Rather than like,
Fair enough.
oh, hey, Ariel, can you come and watch Finn because I need to go make a poop?
Right.
I was like, I'll just crack the door open. I'll hear him. He's sleeping. It's fine. But when you have like a toddler running around, you gotta distribute the responsibility a lot more.
yeah. And I do feel very safe with him in his little basket.
Yeah.
I feel like he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And Wes can't really get to him.
Yeah, we have
He
a little
can't like
high-walled Moses basket
do too much.
with a little bed in it, so we
Yeah.
can kind of carry the basket around,
Yeah.
do our thing.
Yeah. And we have like a little rocker that used to be Rachel's actually, that he sleeps in, and it's great.
Yeah.
It works perfectly. Yeah. And my parents are here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. Once your parents leave, that's when the fun's going to start, because he's
Right.
not going to be sleeping for 95% of the time anymore.
Uh-huh.
And we will still have a toddler.
I wonder what it's going to be like. I do wonder what it's going to be like. There are times when, like you'll be doing bath with him and I'll sort of come in and be like, how's everything going? Because my mom is with Finn. That's not going to be the case. It's like you're going to have to take one kid and I'm going to have to take the other.
Right.
And
right. Until they're old enough where we just like throw
put
them both
together.
in the bath together.
Yeah. Which may be sooner
Son, don't drown your brother.
I mean, I'm sure that's going to be a conversation at some point. We're going to have to be like, okay, Wes, no splashing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finn has not had a bath yet.
No, that's another thing. It's like when we just had the one baby, it's like, okay, we're going to give him baths. Like
we're going to do something, like we're going to do something new.
We're going to spritz lavender oils everywhere.
He needs a baby massage. We'll put the oils on him and everything.
And the doctor's like, yeah, you can give him a bath like once a week. We're like, we'll do it
every night.
Nightly.
we want to start early. We want to make sure that he gets
routines.
Lots of a really good routine. Yeah, exactly. And I really wanted to give him that baby massage. I was like, I was itching to give him a baby massage. But with Finn, I don't know. It's like when he sleeps so much that I'm like, don't bother him. Like
he's sleeping.
We
got a toddler to chase around.
Yeah. Also, Finn has a ton of hair.
Oh, yeah. Wes was a little cue ball, and Finn is like
Finn has a full head of blonde hair. It's like reddish blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if he might not be as blonde as Wes. He might just start being like kind of my color hair.
He looks just like Wes.
He does, but we were just saying how they look different.
Well, his hair is different, but I think
true. His face looks just like Wes.
I think that's his baby hair, and that's gonna fall out. And then
that's true. Wes had red hair, yeah.
And then he's gonna get the blonde hair like Wes.
Yeah.
But right now Wes looks so big.
Oh yeah, that's the wild thing.
His head is enormous.
You look at the little tiny newborn hands, and you're like, you look at your toddler, and you're like, who is this Goliath?
I like brush Wes's hair with my hand, and I'm just like, your head is huge.
Yeah, it's the hands and feet for me. It's just like
it's his head
ginormous
for me.
hand.
It runs through my mind. I'm like, does he have an abnormally large head? Because it looks so big.
Yeah, it's a real perspective shift.
Yeah.
With just watching one baby grow up, you're kind of just you're like gradually getting used to them being different. If you look at photos from a year ago, you're like, wow, he's grown up.
Yeah.
But here it's like shockingly immediate. You're just looking from one kid to the other. Oh my.
Yeah.
You're a man toddler.
I know, he's huge. He's so big. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. And and the laundry. Jeez, we go through 4 loads of laundry a day. Because there's my laundry with breast milk everywhere.
Yeah.
There's Finn's laundry with pee and poop everywhere and breast milk everywhere. There's Ned's laundry, which has stayed normal, but it's always been a lot. And then there's my parents' laundry. It's just, and then Wes's laundry, because he's been playing in the yard a lot.
Yeah.
Michelle was able to keep him clean and in one outfit for most of the day. I don't know how she did that. We can't. He's dirty.
Yeah.
Seriously dirty.
Yeah, well, we do let him play in the dirt. Maybe that's why.
Probably. That is his favorite thing to do. It's just play in the dirt.
We dug a ditch the other day.
That kid loves to dig.
Pretty solid. Buried a pipe. Yep.
and then dug it up.
Did some landscaping, which means pulling up the plants. Wesley does weeding,
which means pulling up the plants.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. The biggest concern is COVID, honestly, because now I'm it's with everything spiking, and we were trying to not go to the grocery store as much, really trying to bunker down and be in our nest.
Yeah, and Finn already, he's
so tiny.
He's so tiny, and he had problems with his lungs. And so, I'm super concerned that if it gets closer to home that that things are not that it could get really really bad.
I am heartened that it was a mechanical problem, not like a
Right.
Not like a
like his lungs are underdeveloped.
lung disease or something. It was just there was like
Sure.
birth fluid in his lungs.
Yeah.
But it's stressful. It's stressful. That's what I try and not think about, because other than taking precautions, that's the only thing you can do.
It also is a time when when we're used to having people around, like they want to come visit the baby and they wanted to see him and see us and, you know, like be a part of our joy and our lives. And we can't. We just, you know, it's just so hard to you know, kind of be like, we're quarantined right now. Yeah.
We have a nest quarantine.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if there's any time for it, that this is certainly, it's not like I'm going to need to go and leave the house for a lot of work stuff anyways on paternity leave.
That's true.
It is a good time to just be indoors. That's our birth story. Thanks so much for listening. That'll do it for this episode of Baby Steps. And hey, we got one more day of the Try Guys Black Friday sale. Check it out. TryGuys.com, up to 30% off on hoodies like this, as well as a brand new onesie and plushie. And then if you're listening to this on Sunday and you don't know the news yet that's coming out tomorrow, get excited, because tomorrow, Monday, November 30th, there's going to be some big, exciting, our biggest project of the year is going to be announced. So check it out. TryGuys.com, YouTube.com/TryGuys. We love all you baby steppers out there. Send us some newborn questions at babystepsadvice@gmail.com.
We're ready to answer some newborn questions now.
We will see you next Sunday.